So I'm going to do the same thing. Just pull out my browser. So the first one is I need to go to the repair it, and I want you to do the same thing. I guess most of you guys already bookmarked it. And at the meantime, since from the beginning we all use the repair it, right? And what I want you to do is like you are going to install one application called Pycharm, like Pycharm. After the class, not now. Okay. So what is Pycharm? And you can go to the Google, like in the Google, you type Pycharm, Pycarm, Pycharm. Okay. In the Pycharm, Pycharm is the Python IDE for professional developers. So what is called professional developers, which means you are really good at Python. And now you're going to use the we call IDE. It's basically is a tool to write the Python code. So yeah, you Google and Google Pycharm, and the first item it would be Pycharm. So you go here, and of course there's a download button. You go download button. There are two options. The first one is for professional, so we are not going to use that. And the second one is for community. So yeah, after this class, I want you to download the community version, and you can work with your parents to install in your Windows or your Mac. So that's what I want you to do. Download the Pycharm. So from next week, I'm gonna start using the Pycharm because we learn a lot of Python, right? So we want to be more professional, and that's why we want to use Pycharm. But today we're still using the Repair It, this website, and I am gonna copy this link and just put it here in the chat box, so you can go to the Pycharm. Go to the Repair It. In the other website, like I always do, you just go to the W3 schools, and I go all the way to learn Python under the programming. So in the last 2 weeks, we learned one thing called while loops, right? Looping is very important. So because in our program, in most of the time, we want our program just keep running and processing through a loop. So that's why in all the computer language, they all have loops. And there's while loops and for loops. We cover while loops, and we haven't covered the for loops. Before we move forward, and I want to show you a little bit funny things with the while loop. So I go to the Repair It, and I'm going to write some code and let you see why it's funny. Because last week I show you guys one trick, like if you do print, and now if you print something, like for example like this one, just like an I but not an I, is a symbol on the top of the button, enter button, and you find it over there. So something like this. And in the print function, there's a second parameter here. It's called n equal to, and by default it will be /n. So what /n means? It's backward /n, and /n means n for new line, just a second line. So if by default it will go to the next line. If you don't put anything here, like you put a space, So your print will just continue to print it out without a new line. In last week, I told you there's one trick, and you can use this one, // called R. And what this one do, it just like after it print, it will go back to the first like for example the first position, the first column, and it will keep running to print in the first column. And if I copy this one and I keep doing like this, so something like that. All right, so if I let me see if we're gonna, right, so I have to have the n equal to n equal to n equal to, so with this n is the name of the parameter. We still not cover that yet, but you can see okay, that is let's do the forward, and this one is slash, and I'm gonna print all of them and let you see what's the result. So you can't see anything here, right? The reason is because it always go back to the first column and keep printing like that. So the second line is printing the /, and the third line is printing a /, just like this one. But in order to print it, we have to put another // to, we call xk. So for some special symbol, you need to xk. So what is xk mean? Like for example, if you print you want to have a code, to print out a code, right? So how am I going to print out a code? If you do a code here, and you can have 3 code. You can have a 3 code. If you do 3 codes, you will have the problem, like it's saying you have triple code string. So that's why we want to have a // to xk, and that's the way we call xk. Right, xk. So we xk this code. That's why we have a // Okay. Every time when we do type URL, a link, we use /. Right? In Windows, you have C drive and // and probably users and programs or documents, something like that. That is called the path for the Windows. So as you can see in Python, if we want to have a special character, and you have to use // to xk. Okay, so if you found your program just weird because you put some special character, you probably need to xk it with the // right? So what I'm going to do here is like I'm going to just print something with the while loop. So let me just do a basic while loop. So first, if you want to loop something, you may have a initial count, just like count. Let me just name it count. And now you have while, and the count is, for example, in this condition, is less than 1000. Okay, and now you have a column by the end of that. And now you do print. You're going to print something like, for example, a dog, just a dog. Okay, and you're going to have the count plus equal to prime plus 1, and which means the count will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way to the 999. If I just run this one, you will see I have 1000 dogs. So let me see what I mean. So you see we have 1000 dogs because we look through 1000, right? And that's easy. But if I want to keep the dog, just keep going, instead of going down, I want to keep it all the way going on this way, like horizontal in one row. So how am I going to do that? So what I'm going to do is just like, for example, a line. At the beginning, there's nothing in here. And every time our line will equal to line plus 1 dot. All right? And now I am going to print a line. And this time, if I click on the run, and it will show you like this. You go what I'm saying? Probably I just do 100, is too much. And I will try it again, just 100, even 100 is a big chunk of things. But with the parameter call n equal to this a code /r, which means always go back to the first column. So we will have something like this. And it's kind of fast, too fast. So that's why I want to slow down a little bit. I do import time, and now you have let's just wait time sleep. Every time I will sleep, for example, 1 second. And now if I clear out here and I'm going to run it, so the dog will just like it's loading, right? It's loading like it's loading in your screen. It's just like a loading bar. So what I want you to do, just try to do the same code in your repair it, and once you're done, please let me know. And I want you to have the same thing like this loading things. Keep loading and loading for until 100. Yeah, it's kind of slow, but you can just like change the sleep to the other seconds, 0.5 or 0.25, and it will be faster. And once you're done, please let me know. Yeah, that's right, Tom. Yeah, you can use the n equal to empty, and it just keep running like keep adding one dot and keep loading like that way. All right, so I guess you already have been done, and And of course, you can add a little bit thing on here. Let me show you what I mean. So you can do add one more like you can add one more things. Like for example, you can add let's define one more variable called decoration. So decor, just deco, decoration. So here is I would do something like this. And so every time when you do you print the line and you will draw the decoration. So but I want to change the decoration if the count is divide by 4. Let's divide by 2, something like that. Divide by 2. So if it is divided by 2, it could be two variables. One is you have the remainder called let's just have a remainder here. Remainder. All right, so you said the code is not working, and let's see. And no worry, we are going to so let's have the remainder equal to count %2. So if the remainder is equal to 1 and the decoration is like, let's do like this, okay? Else the decoration is like go back to the normal one like this. So I'm gonna run it and you will see what happened like that. Let's just create this one. And make it faster. Uh, 0.5 seconds. So something like this. Okay. So let me repeat what we did here. The first line, we import a package or a library. It's called time. So which will help us to let our program to slow down a little bit, and we sleep half seconds for every loop. All right. So the second line is the count, and in this count, I want the count to increase 1 every time in every loop, and one loop it will increase 1. We start from 0, so it would be 0. The first one would be 0, and then 1, 2, 3, all the way to 100. If it's 100, and then it will be over one. If it's 100, this one would be false, while this one, the expression will be false, and it will end this while loop. Okay. And we also define a line, and it's just a variable, and we keep all the dot inside the line. So that's why our line just keep increasing and increasing and increasing. Now we add another called decorator. It's just another variable, but I put like this kind of thing, like this kind, and this kind of a brace, an open brace. And now every time when the count if is can divide by 2, if it has the remainder equal to 1, and I will show this one, the end brace. Otherwise, I will show the start brace, and that's why it will be always showing the different decorator by the end of it. And with the print, in the print, I do the line combined with the decorator, and because my end is always go back to the first column, and this means if you for example, if you come over here, it will go back to here and print it again, and it just keep repeat and print and print and print and print, just like the your monitor do the same thing, and it just print this dot once and go back to the first one and print this dot again. And of course I have to increase the count, because if you don't increase the count, this loop will be forever, just looping forever. All right, so that's what we learned last week, and it's called while loop. And now we are going to learn something new, and it's called a list. So we go back to the tutorial. It's a list here. So what is the list? We already learned different data types like strings, numbers, or true or false, something like that. But for a list, is kind of like you have more than one of the string or numbers, and you want to put them together. In Python, we call it is a list. So it's a list. So for example, for this one, we have a list of all fruits. So let's just define a list. I'm going to remove this one. You remove all of them and create. Now you have to have a variable. For example, we have a variable called fruits equal to, you have many fruit like apple and banana, and also we have watermelon, and I may have also have what else, strawberry. So in order to glue them together, we need to have a bracket here, a start, and there's another bracket by the end. And between them, we use commas to separate them, just like we do in the parameter. We use commas to separate them. And now you have a list of fruits. So what this variable do, and I'm going to just print it out and let you see what the fruits have. All right, so I'm going to run it. So you got a list of fruits. So you have apple, banana, watermelon, and strawberry. Is it right? Probably not. Yeah, you have a strawberry. So what I want you to do, you create a fruit list and just print it out and see it work or not, and let me know if you're done. All right, I think most of you guys have been done because it's easy for you, and it just like you define a variable to hold leaks. With this leaks, you should always have a bracket from the start and by the end, and you have another bracket. But they are one is start, one is the end, and between them you got to separate with them. You know, the commas. And you can also do with the numbers. Like for example, you have a let's define a numbers, just num as a variable, and now you can have different number like 1, 33, 55, and 66, 99, something like that. But you have to close it with the bracket. So again, I will print it out. Just print, and you have a number. You print the number. Now you would have the same thing, just like the string, like this string, the fruits, and apple and number. They are pretty much the same because for each item in the list is called just we call element or item in the list. So this one is just a variable. You put this list, assign the list to the variable. So once we print the variable, it will show you what's inside this variable. So remember that the variable is just like a pocket or a box. You can put numbers, strings, or true or false, and you can also put a list into a variable. So how about if I join them together? Can I join them together like this? You can join throughs plus number, and what will happen? So I just print, and now you will join them together with the plus to combine them together. And if I print it, it will show you have apple, banana, watermelon, strawberry. Now you just join these two lists into one large list. Okay, so with the plus you can join two lists, and now you can see you have a fruits and you have a numbers, but you join them together. But normally we don't use this way because in the first list we use for every element is a string. For the second one is a number. Like here is an integer. So we don't want to have one list to group all of them with different type of the Python type value. So it will be confused, right? You don't put fruits and numbers into one box. So but here is the way you can join them together. Join two lists. All right. But for example, if you want to put more fruits into your list, your shopping list, so you would have like fruits, let's just do shopping list, shopping, okay, equal to, let me just remove this part. We don't use number here. So if you have a shopping list and you have some fruits, so you obviously you have fruits, and I also want to have some vegetable equal to like what kind of vegetable you want. Like for example, we have lo mein, or let me pull out Google it. Vegetable leaves. So I may just copy this vegetable leaves. I don't know what it is. I know the broccoli. So I put the broccoli here. And now I put some cabbage. And I also want some like eggplant. I like eggplant. And you can add more, of course. So if my shopping list, I want to include all of them, have some fruits and vegetables. So you should vegetables. Vegetables and my spell long here. So I have vegetable and fruits, something like that. And then I have big shopping list. If I clear this one, I click run. Oh, I forgot to print it out. So I have to print the shopping list and click run. So you will have apple, banana, all the fruits and the vegetable. So what I want you to do, you are going to add the vegetable part, and you can add more vegetable, and now you can have a shopping list and join them together. And if you're done, please let me know. So you have fruits, vegetables, and also have shopping list. And now I want to see your shopping list. If you're done with your shopping list, you can copy the shopping list and put it into the chat box so we can see what kind of shopping list you have. All right. Yeah, once again, you don't have to do exactly what, like the fruits, you don't exactly like what I have here. You can have your own fruits or your own vegetables. As long as you can print it out, just let me know. And I want you to share your fruits, your shopping list with the other people. So once you're done, please let me know and put your links in the chat box so we can move forward, please. Alright, so Matthew, if there's something wrong with your code, most likely you might just forgot to put a bracket over here, or remember this bracket by the end of each links. So you have to wrap it with a bracket. Yeah, a bracket. Okay, you have to wrap them with a bracket, and for each item is a string, and you wrap it with a code and separate them by commas, so you know the format. So you have the beginning, you would have this one, and now you have the other one by the end of that. So for some of you guys, if you have done, please let me know your shopping list. So I don't want you guys just copy my code, and because you have your own shopping list, you probably have some toys or games or movies in your shopping list. You don't have to be exactly what I have here, because that is my shopping list in Superstore. So yeah. Okay, so I think you are building your own shopping list. At the meantime, if you like, for example, you go to the store, right, and you want to add more item into your shopping list. How am I going to put more in my shopping list? So that's the way. One of the way is called shopping list. That's the variable. You put a dot. Okay. And the first one is called append. So you type append, and now you can append more things. Like I have cucumber from your boy Mike, and he told me, oh, I want some cucumber. So you can add cucumber. If I run it now, I run it, and now I got cucumber here. Okay, and you can add more, right? For example, I add shopping links dot append. I want to add tomato. Now I'm gonna run it again, and in my shopping list I have cucumber and tomato. And I also want let's see, I also want some movie, maybe what kind of movie you like? Star Wars. So I want a Star Wars movie, and now I also add it to my shopping list. So it would be like a Star Wars movie, something like that. So you use a dot, a pen, and now you add one more item into your list, into your shopping list, and that's the way, one other way to add more item here in the shopping list. Okay, so you have this shopping list, and you have Star Wars movie, something like this. And if you go to the store and you start to do the shopping, right? So like I found the apple, so I want to remove the apple. So that's one way to do that. It's just like shopping dot pop. So if you pop it, and your shopping list will become shortened. So I'm gonna show you right here. If I use pop, and if you pop out the first one, let me see. Oh, if you pop the last one here, basically if you pop the last one, okay, let me see the pop. If we go all the way here, and where's my pop? So in here, if you say if I use pop method, if you remove the last item of the index, if not specified, so if you pop it out, like it pop the last item, because I just put the Star Wars movie, and if I pop, and if you pop the last item, and if you want to remove the apple, you can use remove. So let's just use remove and apple, and you are going to remove the first one, and you just remove the apple. Okay, so what I want you to do, you try it out, use a pen and remove to add more item into your list. And you can also remove one of them after you found the item in the store, and once you found it, you remove it. Okay, so you just add a few append with the method append, and also a method called remove, and you can add more things into your shopping list, and you can remove the item from your shopping list. And of course, if you want to remove the last one, like this one, you can use pop, and you pop the last one from by the end of your list. Like if you can pop it out, shopping list dot pop, it will pop the last one. Okay. All right, so yeah, I think you can continue to work on this program. So let me tell you about the homework. So your homework is like you're going to, in this shopping list, I want you to add one more list into the shopping list called toys. And in these toys, of course, you are going to add some of the toys you want, and you also put it into the shopping list. And if you add the toys and you print it out, the shopping list, there's in your shopping list there should be some toys. And once you are done with this list, please just send me an email to help@dataarea.ca. Okay, you need to finish this list. Just add more item into the toys list. So expand your shopping list, and also you can use a pen or remove or pop and try these 3 methods to see how it works with your program. And that's the homework for this week, and I will see you next week. All right, that's it for the junior level. Also, if you have any question, please let me know, and I can I open my Zoom. So the homework is like you're going to finish the add one more toys into your shopping list in here, in this shopping list. So you have a list of toys. So how are you going to add the toys into the shopping list? And of course, in your toys list, you should have some toy, right? For example, you have Lego, and maybe have like a Game Boy or something like that, and just add the toys into the toys. And now in your final shopping list, there should be some toys show up on your shopping list. If you finish this shopping list, please send me the code to the help@dataarea.ca. Okay, just send me to this email. Send the code to this email. Okay, you make a new toys shopping in your shopping list. All right, yeah, we are going to start for the junior level for the Python and the HTML. Okay, and again for the first level, you need to install the Pycharm. Don't forget that. Okay, install Pycharm. All right, so we are going to start for the for the junior level. In the junior level, I think most of you guys already have the Visual Studio Code. If you're not and you are still using the Pycharm, you can still use Pycharm. All right, and for the HTML and okay. Let me just open my HTML things. So last week we worked on the HTML, and I will show you what it looks like. Let me first. Oops. Give me 1 second. So in my HTML, you can have the use the browser, and you can open your file, and you go to the folder. I create a folder in desktop called HTML. So I open the file called index.html. You should have something looks like this. Okay, so for HTML, I want you to install the Visual Studio Code. And if you don't have the code, so let me see if I can share it with you. Or not. I may just copy and paste. Yeah, something like that. What you need to do, you just create a file in a folder. Any folder, you can just go to the Visual Studio Code. You open the folder, and let me do it one more time, in case you don't know what I'm talking about. So you go here. You open your Visual Studio Code, and now you can open the folder under the Start menu, or you can go to the File and do Open. And now you go to Desktop, which I create my folder. Now you double click it. Now you choose you choose nothing. You just click open, and now you can open the folder. Inside the folder, you should have HTML. And Alexander, you said I can't download, so I may just use Repel. No, you won't be able to use the Repel. You can use this one. I share with you this one. There's one website called playcode.io. Oh, Repel it also can do it, I guess. Repel it if you go. Let me try. JavaScript or HTML. Let's see, HTML. Yeah, something like that. So in Repel it, you can also do the HTML things. If you don't have the Visual Studio Code, so you just click on the button here, go to Repel it, and in the language, and you just saying HTML, and it allow you to choose the HTML, CSS, and JS. Right, so that's one of the way to do that. And you can see that in here they have the index.html is already created for you, and here is the script, and here is the CSS file. So but we haven't used that yet. So what you want to do, you can remove all of them, or you can just add your code between the body. Okay, but we didn't build the body. We didn't build the body in here. We just use one line. It's called div, and it's one of the element. So like in the Repel it, you can see, oh, they have body, they have the head, they have the HTML, and they also have this called doc type. And why do they do this for the HTML? Because by default, your browser will help you to put this part if you are missing them. But for us, we can also do that. So you can, in your code, your HTML code, you can add the doc type. In the first line, you just have like doc type HTML, and that means your HTML is on HTML5, is the version 5. If you have doc type, which means your HTML is running on HTML5. If you put these kind of things, you just have a exclamation doc type and HTML, and now you will have, it means your HTML is on HTML5. But not all the HTML using the same thing. They may use XHTML, but HTML5 is the latest version. So you can just put doc type HTML, which means it's HTML5. And by default, they want everything just in the HTML, between the HTML. By default, they want you to put all your HTML code inside the HTML. So that's why you have HTML and HTML. And now, of course, you have the head. And what's inside the head, in between them, it's just some metadata. So, or some script or some CSS file. All right. So you have the head, and now you have the body. You have the body, and now you can add your code inside this body. So last week we create a big chunk of, oops. We create a big chunk of these kind of things, like this one. Circle with the background color is 0, and there's a border with the pink border. Right, so that's how you can do to create an index.html in the Visual Studio Code. If you are working on the repair it, so what you need to do, just go to the chat box. You see, scroll up, and you can see I have the code over there, and you just copy that div and put it here, and now you can refresh. Not sure it will or not. Never used this one. Yeah, doesn't really. No. Oh, here is run. So you can have the big circle over here. Okay. So what I want you to do is like we want to add an event in this div. So what is called event? And if you, let's just go to the W3 schools, and if you click on the HTML, and there's something called event. Let's see, HTML event. So what events mean? It means like you are doing something on the HTML element. Like for example, your mouse is clicking here. You click, you do click, or your mouse just on hover here. So if I click, and you should do something, right? So that's what I want. And what you need to do, just go into your div in here, you put on click, okay, and equal to a double quote, 2 double quotes. In here, you may let's just do alert. Hello. So what I do here is like it's called in the on click, inside the on click equal to a double quote inside here, this value. Inside here is some JavaScript things. So in JavaScript, alert is pop out alert, and this alert is a function, and you can put a message inside this alert. And now if you save your code and you come back to here and refresh, and you click, and it should pop out an alert. Right? So what I want you to do is just add one event called on click, and you should have the alert. And if you click on this one, and you should pop out the alert. Okay, once you're done, please let me know. All right, so how do I run the file? So first you create a file, right? You do your code here. So what you need to do, you just open a browser. For example, I have Chrome, and in the Chrome, and you just go to File and Open File. If you don't find the file menu, and you can use in Windows, you can hold Control and O, Control plus O. In Mac, you can do Command plus O. And now you go to Desktop and your folder and just choose the file. And later I want you to have the server to serve this file, but right now I just want you to use the browser to open it, and just can open, but open from here. So you can have the event, you click and open, click and open. And you don't have to have this thing, you don't have to have it. So what I show you here is because I want to have the right format. So usually we do all this, we have the HTML, we have the head, we have the body, and now inside the body we put all the HTML code inside here. All right, so I think most of you guys have been done, because we just add some of the markup here, right? So you have HTML, you have head, and you have body, and you have on click. And now we show alert in here. But sometimes you want to change something, right? It's not just pop up something like pop up this one. For example, you want to change the some value here. So you still can use the JavaScript to do just you change the value of the CSS. So let's just change it with the HTML. So I will do a Google and just saying JavaScript, change the CSS, something like this. So you can see there's some script over here, and you can change the style. All right, so I'm going to add one script and we'll show you what I mean. So if you scroll down, you will do this one. I will just copy it all the time, all of them. So instead of do an alert, we will do something called document. And what document means means this file, this HTML file is one document. In this document, I will do get element by ID. Okay, so you will get the ID. So which one is for this one? So you, at the meantime, you have to define an ID for that. Let's say define ID called circle. Okay, so you define an ID called circle. In the get element by ID, you will have the circle. And now you can change this ID, the style. You change the style, dot style, dot. Let's change the background color to equal to just equal to red. Okay, like this. It is a JavaScript. So what I did here is like first I add an ID called circle. ID equal to circle, and in the event on click, I will say first I will go to the document, and this one is called document, and use a method called get element by ID, so which is this ID. And now you get this circle, and I want to change the style and this style. I want to change this style and change the background color. Okay, but its background color looks like I use the camera's way and equal to red. So of course I will have the semicolon here, the semicolons, and now I will save it. I will show you what I mean. Go here. Oops, I have to refresh. Now I will change, and it will change the color inside here. Alright, so I will let you to do the same thing. Just add one JavaScript. It's called document.get element by ID, and you get this element, and this one is going to get this element, and change the style and the background color to red. Okay, so you finish this one and let me know in the chat box. We are going to move out the whole part of this. because if you keep writing the JavaScript and this on click event is getting longer and longer, right? So that is not good. So what I want is like I want to have a separate file or separate things, so we can do the same thing, and we don't have to put all my things in one element. And once you are done this part, please let me know. So yeah, like what I have told you, because if you get working on more script files, more code here is getting longer and longer. So you can see my things. See how long it is? It's like really long for my HTML code. So one way to do that is like you can add another block and one more element called script. That's one way to do that, so like script. So instead of doing everything in the on click, you just like you define a function here. In JavaScript, you do function like click function name click me. Just like in Python, you use the def to define the function. But in JavaScript, you can do just function. You have the keyword, like in Python you use def, right? Here you use function click me, and you do a brace, and you use the brace to hold all the code here. So here, instead of doing everything in the on click, you cut and put it inside here. Okay, you put it inside here. Now if you do on click, you can just call click me, and in this way it will call this function in the script file, in the script, this element to click me. All right, so if you do on click, this event will call this function, and in this function it will change the color to background color to red. So again, I will just refresh, save and refresh my script, and now I come back here and I click, and it will turn into the red. All right. So again, like every time if you like if I click and I keep clicking it, I want to change this color to different color. So how am I going to do that? So what you want to do is first you define a like a global variable here. Let's say just a variable called color, and let's define the color called, the first one is called red. Okay, it's red. Now so let's just do count, sorry about that, just count equal to 0. So if the count, if you click if the count is by 2, is the remainder is equal to 0, so we will change the color to red. So we have the variable color here, and now you have color equal to red color. So I like to put the semicolon by the end of each line of code because you can separate, you can read it easily, but it's not mandated to do that. So you can do without the semicolons. So I suggest you to do that because in JavaScript it's easy to read, and later you will find you compress them and it's still working with the semicolons. Now if the color is how about is blue, something like that, and now my background color will equal to the color. So what I did here is just like add a little bit toggle things, and every time once you click it, and you will increase the count. You increase the count to like you increase the count, and if the count just keep increasing, and now you will have different color. So I'm gonna show you the result first, and I will come back to explain my code. So I'm gonna refresh. So you will have clicking on it, and the color keep changing. Of course, if you have, for example, you divide by 3, and you can have more option for the color, right? So every time you just keep click on that, and it will show you different color. So that's what I want you to do. Just add the first one. You add a global variable here. The reason we call global because it's outside of the function. It's called count, and count is equal to 0. And every time if you click on it, this event will call this function, and the count will add 1 to the count. And for some of you came from the Python, doesn't have the 2+ here. It's just like equal to count plus 1, or in Python we do something like this. Okay, but in JavaScript they can do double plus. It means just increase 1 for the count. And now every time when you click, the count just increase. If you do divide by 2, you got the remainder either is equal to 0 or 1. If it is equal to 0, and the color should be shown red, and if it is equal to blue, equal to 1, and the color should be blue. And now I can change my color to blue or red, and now you will have this function. Like you click on that and it will keep changing it. Okay, and that's what I want you to do. And if you finish this code, please let me know. Just add one more element called script, and now you have the function called click me, and now you should have the click event to change the background color of this big chunk of the circle. And don't forget you have the ID called circle, because that's the way we use the document to find out your element. You can use the circle, and you click here, and then you find here. So if you want to add more color, you just like for example, you can change this one 2 to 4, right? So if a count divided by 4, it could be have 4 options like 0, 1, 2, 3. So you can have if equal to 0 and then you equal to red, and otherwise you can add more like else if the count 4 is equal to 1. Now you can have the color equal to 0, and you can have else if the count 4 equal to 2. Now you can have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and then you can have color to be purple. Yeah, like if you can add more, there's four of them. So, and now if you save it and you go back here, you refresh, and then you can do like something like that. You can add more as long as you want. Yeah, like green. So what Jerry said is green, so you can add green. And of course you can add something like this kind of thing with the hash, with the pound sign here, and now you can choose different color like this and color. You choose it, and then it's like the 6 characters. Usually is the number F, something like that. It's like a postal code number and character number, something like that. So you see our code is inside the script is getting longer and longer, right? So yeah, and like if your function, you have more function, and that is not good. So we want to move it out, like move this script file out of from here in your HTML file, and that's why we want to add more file. Like for example, I want to add a script file, so call let's call click, or maybe no, let's just call main.js. Okay, you can create one more file called main.js, and we are going to move this file into the main.js. But I want you to finish your code like this kind of thing, and then you can have this function. You click. You don't have to have four options. You can have 2 options, but it's up to you. You just change the background color to different color. And once you're done, we are going to move the script, this script, to the main.js. Okay. And every time when you do something, you change, you have better to save, and you come here, you have to refresh it, so you can get it, get the latest code like this. All right. Good question. Hey, Jerry, did ID just a name? So it really doesn't matter what it is. Like here, I put circle, and you can put square or ABC. Let's just change to ABC. And you can name it to ABC. As long as in this code you said get element by ID, you have to be ABC. And now you can have the way to go back to here to grab this this element, because we use the document, and I say this one, the whole file is called a document, and in this document you're going to find where's this element by the ID. So get element, this element by ID. This div is one of the element. So by ID, as long as the ID is ABC, and I can get ABC. So you can change this ID to square, ABC, whatever you want, and it's just a name. So that's why we use ABC, and we come back here and grab from get the element, this element. And once you get it, and you can change the style. And this style, like here, I changed the background to the background color to something else, like the blue or something. Yeah. All right. So I think most of you guys have been done this code. If not, and it really doesn't matter, because it's just a function to create me in here to create me, and you have an account and just increase and change the count every time. Now you change the color to different color, but obviously you can expect that, and your file is get bigger and bigger, right? You don't want to put it into your HTML file. So that's why I create one file called main.js, and again, it's up to you the name of the so yeah, so like if you have some problem with your code, what you need to do is just like you go back to your browser, you refresh, and you can click on the inspect, and here it will come up with a tab called console. You can find console here. If you have something long here, and you would, why Oscar is joining me and Zoom. So again, if you have something long here, like for example, I put let's just change color to color 1. Obviously I didn't define the color 1, right? So if I save this one, and I also refresh here, and if I click, what the heck, it's not long. Okay, so yeah, probably I will change something to make it fail. How am I going to make it fail? The thing is like I use document 1, change document to 1 and make it fail. Okay, so if I have this one and refresh, so it will fail. It will say the document 1 is not defined at click me. So you can come back and take a look on here, and you change the line 26, and you will find that's one of the way to debug your code. I'm not sure you can see my full screen, but I'm going to make my thing smaller now. Yeah, now you can fix the problem. Okay, that's what I want you to do. Just like you right click, do inspect, and now you go console. Now you can see that, and in here, and if you have some error, you can see it, you can have the error message over here in the console. And let me see who is in Zoom. No. Yeah, that if the error is called on 26 here, it say cannot read the property of style of now because you didn't get the element by ID. You didn't get the right ID. Like this ID doesn't match with this ID. Okay, you didn't the ID are not the same. They're not the same. If some error like that, it's because they cannot find this element. So you should have the ID, the same ID. Get element by ID, get the same ID. Like if I use the ABC, before that I use circle, and you can use circle, and by use ABC here, you should keep both are the same. All right, you go what I'm saying? Okay, so yeah, now we have the main.js here, right? You already created the file, so I want to move all this part inside the script from the line 8 while count equal to 0 all the way to here. I want to just cut and go to main.js, and you paste everything here. Okay, that's the first step. You move all the thing from the inside the script, and then put it into the main.js. You put it here inside this file called main.js. It's up to you. The name is up to you, but we are going to link this one to the main.js. Okay, so now you have the script out, right? So there's nothing inside the script, and now you want to link it there. So you do source equal to src means source, and now you have the double quote. Inside here you choose or you type main.js, and in this way this HTML will link to main.js. Okay, here it will go here, main.js, and if I save it, I refresh, it will do the same thing. It just like move the file from main.js, from the script to the main.js. You got it? And you don't, now you can come to the main.js, do your code, and instead of just doing all the code in your HTML file. And one of the benefits for this, if you're moving things out from your HTML, is like the main.js, this code, it will download to your browser for once, and it will cache. It's not cache, it's cache in your browser. It will cache in your browser. I will show you later in here. Okay, but I want you to just move it out, move your script into a file called main.js, and now you have the source.main.js, and just link it, and you have a link to the main.js. And once you are done and your code is still working fine with here, and please let me know. And what I'm going to do is like I will move the style again, the style out from the HTML. First we will out from this element, and then we will create a main.css file, and then that is the way to move out the style. Okay, once you're done, please let me know. Yeah, today I really want to show you how to do the bubble sort in Python, but I don't think I have type. But yeah, let's just finish this HTML things. Yeah, just move out the script file to the main.js file. So to keep your HTML clean. All right, so yeah, I think it's easy because you just copy it and paste and move all your code to the main.js over here. It's not that hard. And what I want you to do is just move this one because the style is keep long and long and long and long. It's too long for me to read. So normally I will put the style in here. So it's the same style. Okay, you do an element called style. Of course, you have the / to close the style. So this time, inside the style, you do this. You have a #, and now you have ABC, which means the ID in the CSS. And now you have a brace, and you do wait a minute. No. So we will do do not lose that. I don't know, but yeah, we just do pound, which means ID for the ABC, or you would maybe have circle. You can change it to the circle. And now you have a brace, and now you copy this part, inside the style, copy, or maybe cut, just cut. And now you put it inside the here. Okay, put it inside here, the ABC, and I will make it looks pretty like this way. You will see much more better like this. Okay, now I can remove the style here. You can still keep this one, but yeah, it's up to you. You can keep the style attribute here, or you can remove it because this ID can do the decoration for this one. Okay, so I'm gonna just save and refresh, so it would be have the same thing. So if you realize that if my mouse come over here, and my mouse still like the same in outside here, right? I want to have the pointer to be, the cursor is like a pointer, and I will show you what I mean. So if you finish this code first, you just create an element called style, and you have ABC by this ID, so this style can find the ABC here, and you cut and paste from the style all the value from inside this style and put it in here, inside this brace, and now you should have the same code like before. All right, so I want you to finish this one first, and also I want you to add the second one, second style, like pound ABC. You have column, you have hover, and now you will change the pointer, sorry, the cursor to pointer. And if you add this thing inside the style, after you save it and you go back here and refresh, and you will see my mouse change. See, it's changed, right? Change. Here is a normal way. Now you come back here is a pointer. And of course, there's a whole bunch of cursor you can choose. If if you see my screen, and there are a whole bunch of options here. You can do the progress, weight, cell, crosshair, text, vertical text, alias, and copy, move, no drop, no allow, reside, or something blah blah blah, zoom in, zoom out. Yeah, you can choose any of them. It's just different style of your cursor, and you can do an experiment on this one. So here is the style, and you move the value from here to this element. Okay, so that's what I want you to do. And once you finish, and please let me know, we will move this style file element out of this HTML, because eventually it will grow bigger and bigger, right? But for a little bit of code, it's okay. Like you can put it in style element, you can also put it in here. But once you have a lot of elements in your HTML file, like this kind of website, see how many elements here? Like all of them are elements, all of them. So eventually it will grow bigger and bigger. So that's why we want to move out this style again from this HTML, this style back here. And just for you to know, you don't have to put this style inside this head. In HTML, it really doesn't matter. You can put the style in here, in the body, in here. It really doesn't matter. It's just practice. You keep it in here, head, and you show people will like to put it here, but you can put it anywhere. You can, like the script file, you can put it here. You can put it here, and what they said, if you put the script file by the end of the HTML file, it will do it. So it will load this part first and this one later. So it's just the order. It's just the order for the performance. So just keep in mind. Yeah, you can put the style in here or there, inside the head or inside the body. Really doesn't matter. So, but this style things is keep growing. It's keep growing bigger and bigger, and we want to move them out into a file. So that's why we just create a file called, let's just main.css. And again, it doesn't really matter because just the file name. And again, I just copy the whole things and cut and put it into the CSS.css file. And now you put it here, right? So like in here, you put it here, right? So you can, they have the script file and CSS file. Yeah, we just have main.js and main.cs, and the name doesn't really matter. And for us to index HTML, you can remove the style, or you can keep it here. It really doesn't matter. So you are going to link it over to the main.css. So you would have this element called link. You do link, and you do href. It's called hyper reference, and equal to. Yeah, you have to create a main.css file. Just add a main.css file. Now you just choose here. Now you close it. For the element, you can just if there's nothing inside between the element, you can close with the just close like that. But of course you can do like this way. They work the same, but yeah, because there's nothing inside here, so you can close by one, and you just remove that. So now you can link the main.css file to here. So you have here, and now you link to the main.css. Like in the repo, they use the file name called script style.cs. You can name it to style.css. The name doesn't matter, but you just make a link and you go all the way here. So once you move out the style things and you have the link here, you should come back to your HTML in the browser. Oops, there's nothing here. The reason is because they want you to put the type and tell them that is the CSS file. So let me just copy this one, and you have to type it. Let's see. So let me try one more time. I add the type attribute and let them know, oh, that is a CSS file. So I will come back here and refresh. Oops, that's long. It's long. Oh, I have to put this attribute. This one. Let me just. Let's see again. And yeah. So yeah, I think the problem I have is just like you have to tell them is the style shift. This one, this attribute is called rel. Let me see what is that. So this attribute is called telling the browser saying, hey, that is the style shift, and is for the CSS. So you have to put these two in to tell your browser what's this file for. So once you have this one, and now you are linking to the main.css this file. So basically all the HTML is like working like this way. Like you have a lot of CSS file, you have a lot of JavaScript file, and you have you separate them into different file, like in your project, and now you have a clean version of the elements. Okay, so once you move them out, like this one called rel. What does it mean? I don't know what is rel mean, but it's just telling the HTML what kind of file it is. And also you have the text /css and telling them is a CSS file, and with these two attributes, and you telling them the location of your file with the href, and now you would have the same thing. It happen like this. You click and do the same thing like this. Okay. All right. And like if you finish this one, what I want to do is just like yeah, almost there. So yeah, I just want to make this circle to be in the middle. Like right now it's just like, you see, it doesn't in the middle, in the center. So what I want is I want to move this guy always in the middle. So I will change a little bit on the CSS file, and after we finish that, and it will be done for today. All right. So you just go to the CSS file, because you want to you want this you want this element ABC, and you should have the margin, the left, you set it to auto, and margin right, you set it to auto. So if you set it to auto, and the browser will automatically to do the calculation for this margin, and and then it will make this circle in the middle of your page. So if you move around, okay, so it will in the middle of your page. So what I did is, in your main.css file, you put the margin left to be auto, and margin right to the auto. That is the trick for the CSS, to make your element in the middle. One of the trick to make this element in the middle, and you set the margin to be auto, because they can automatically adjust them. All right, so that's it for today. I don't think we have homework, because I really want to show you this bubble shop, but it might have to go back in gigs for gigs, and you can go gigs for gigs and read about that. Is what is called bubble shop or binary shop. So different kind of algorithms to shorting the things. So I may just give you this one, and you can take a look on that. And next week we will talk about it. Okay, probably that is the homework, and hopefully you can understand the HTML. If you have any questions, just let me know, shoot me an email, I will just answer you right away. And that's it for today, and thank you so much. Good night. Yeah, the homework is like, yeah, just go to the link, and in the Geek to Geek, I want you guys to learn some algorithms, because eventually you need to learn, like, at least you understand the bubble shop and the binary shop. At least these two you should understand. At least these two, bubble shop and binary shop. That is one of the algorithm to do the shop. Like in Python, you do shop method, but here you will read this. Okay. And again, if you have any question, you want to talk to me, you can join the Zoom, so I can talk to you.